How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week. Is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday? Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what is up, beautiful people? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful week so far. Man, the trading opportunities are crazy. Today, however, was a little bit of a slower start on the market. We did pull down off the economic numbers, and the market just kind of went back and forth. Later on, it made a little bit of a move, but not too much of action in the overall broader market, but still lots of action on specific names that we prepared for. For example, Play gave you a beautiful short, picture perfect short, something that we talked about yesterday. We got another one, which was Tesla played out pretty well for some opportunities. I'm trying to think of what other good trades were there today. There were a bunch of good opportunities. Just can't think of it right now off the top of my head, because my mind is all about what's tomorrow, because obviously I'm making watch lists. I'm getting ready for the stream, so my mind is just now kind of stuck in what is in focus for tomorrow. Since we're already there, let's talk about it. Let's get interested about some of the movers in the after hours. I'm looking at AVGO's earnings report. AVGO going into a new all-time high. You got a bunch of other movers from news. You got WBD today selling off of a news catalyst. They're apparently guiding lower in their Barclays conference. At Barclays conference, WDC Western Digital guiding lower. Nikola what did they do? They said they don't have enough money to last another quarter, so they're basically on the verge of bankruptcy. That possibly can be now in the topics of getting bought out, or maybe just no more existence for Nikola. So opportunities over there to look into. So lots of stocks, lots of levels to look at. So why don't we not waste a second and dive into the full screen? Come join me as we prepare for tonight's watch list. Here's AVGO, but if you saw AVGO's after hours move, we were going up to $210, selling off a little bit below 210, but nice breakout on AVGO into the after hours. Exactly what I was looking for on this position. Wonder if MU will guide lower as well. Micron We'll see. I think Micron had a pretty good earnings report on their last earnings report, so expecting them not to. They have kind of turned the corner in terms of the AI and whatnot. So maybe not. We'll see. Or maybe I'm thinking about Marvell instead of MU. Yeah, I'm thinking of Marvell right now. That was the more recent reporter. But MU, if I remember correctly, they're not that bad, right? Their recent report did take them back into the $100 area, and they're just continuing to stay above it. They report in 6 days, so next week will be interesting. Still, bunch of names to report before the end of the year. Exciting. But tonight, the only thing in importance, I guess, will be AVGO in the small cap realm. Maybe Nvidia gets a sympathy rise to the north side back again based on AVGO's move. AVGO obviously a big component of the Mag 7, not Mag 7, but a big component of the S&P 500 and the QQQ, if I remember correctly. Let me go verify that really quick. QQQ ETF holdings. More. Stop doxing me, you stupid website. Really? You can't show me direct stocks that you're holding? Okay, there we go. AVGO not in the top 10. Really? Not in the top 10 of what? Am I blind? Oh, there you go. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it is in the top 6. Why couldn't I see it over here? Okay, I am blind. It was in the top 6. Okay, so I was right. In the top 10 for S&P 500 and in the QQQ. So a big component of the market. So potentially carrying the market back again to the north side. So expecting the market, even though we tried to dip today, taking a bunch of stocks back to the south side. With this moving back up, potentially taking Nvidia back up. I think AVGO, was it AVGO? I think it was AVGO. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Yes, it is AVGO who recently announced an Apple partnership. So Apple partnership, another Apple catalyst news that made the stock spike back and forth. I actually got a quick little scalp for $1 per share without having to risk too much on that news move over there on Broadcom. But here is the after hours earnings move. Let me just quickly mark in that earnings anchored view up for myself, which will be interesting to keep an eye on tomorrow. However, I think the stock potentially gets dragged, or the earnings anchored VWAP potentially gets dragged up to $200 depending on pre-market action. This could be the money trade from SMB Capital that I've been using quite a bit to take advantage of. So let's see if it sets up that way. For that, we're gonna have to take a look at the earnings report right off the bat. Looking at the title, not looking good. Broadcom reports Q4 results, beat EPS, but revenue miss. So let's continue reading. $1.42 per share versus $1.38. 14 billion versus 14.09 billion. Increase, however, over sales from same period last year of 9.295. So that's a pretty good growth from same period last year. Company reported net income 6.95 in the fourth quarter. Less capital expenditure of 122 million, resulting in $5.482 billion in free cash flow. Revenue grew by 44%, sorry, not 48, 44% year over year to a record 51.6 billion. So this is segment based revenue. I'm on to see the outlook. There it is. Broadcom sees first quarter revenue of approximately 14.6 billion versus 14.612. So you could say in line / miss. The company also issued an EBITDA guidance of approximately 66% of the projected revenue for the first quarter. Don't see an EPS or a full year 2025 projection at the moment. Maybe there's one over here. Nope, there is not one over here, but there's a different title for this one. The dividend is payable. So what is the stock dividend by 11%? So boosts stock dividend by 11%. From 53 cents to 59 cents. So that's a little bit of a boost. If you are a holder of this stock before December 23rd, 2024, you will be eligible, or is that when they pay out? Payable on December 31st for stockholders before December 23rd. So as long as you own AVGO before December 23rd, you are eligible for that 59 cents per share dividend. So nice little move. Not really a big beat on their EPS and their revenue. Not really guiding crazily high also on the future. We don't really see the EPS for the future either, but I guess giving the dividend boost is a decent enough of a reason to run the stock up higher. So 11% boost on dividend, 11% move on the stock to the upside. I guess that makes sense somehow. But to take a look at the PE, right? For AVGO though, however, they are growing by 44%, which is decent for a big company like AVGO. You know, you would expect maybe they would only have 10-20%, but they're growing by almost 50% year by year. So that's honestly not a bad number if you ask me. However, it is on the expensive side. You could also say the same thing about Nvidia. You could also same thing about Tesla, but you know, people don't really care about when it comes to these companies, right? These are big market cap companies. People love to own these companies, especially when they're giving out dividends, and when a dividend race comes out, you might just get new investors, new buyers coming in at the all-time high breakout, and all kinds of juice just being poured into this position. So yes, PE is high. Mainly you might want to be looking for shorts on an extreme pop. So depending on how far does the stock go off the open, let's say in the first 10 minutes, in the first 15 minutes, the stock is already 2 ATR, 3 ATRs to the north side, then I might look for a short first instead for a long. I'll look for a short, then I'll flip long later on. But if the stock is giving me dip buy opportunities tomorrow off the open, then I'm more interested to get long on the dips, as long as it shows me buying into the most interesting levels. So for me, right off the bat, the first interesting level will be the psychological level, which is above 200. The stock hasn't traded above 200. It did stock split, so keep that in mind. Okay, so the stock hasn't traded above 200 ever since the stock split, so this will be its first time. Technically, before stock split, it never really got above 2,000, so this is kind of, you know, getting above 2,000 for the first time, right? So you know, new price discovery levels, whatever you're discovering tomorrow in the pre-market or throughout the open, I'm also doing the same thing with you. So your guess is as good as mine. At the moment, I'm expecting, I'm projecting the stock gets pulled up in the pre-market to the point where the earnings anchored VWAP comes up to $200, then a pullback and hold above 200, maybe 202, 203. I'll be patiently waiting to see how a long sets up. If the stock gives you a VWAP continuation long, I'll be patiently watching to see how that long sets up. So opportunities will be on the table without a doubt. AVGO, and then obviously 210 at the moment on the resistance side. That could turn out to be support. That could turn out to be support based on pre-market numbers. So be ready to see how those numbers change. Be ready to you know, change those numbers in the pre-market. At the moment, it's 200 for the support for me, and it's 210 for the resistance, because that is the new all-time high, right? That is the new all-time high in the after hours. For now. Let's go to the next one that reported earnings. Costco. Is there any short inverse ETF for AVGO? I know AVGX for the long side. I guess it would make sense when AVGO was it would make sense when AVGO was, what was it, like $1,000 and not really trading with a lot of volume behind it. But now, I don't know if it's really worth it, right? Like, AVGO does a ton of volume. It's a $100 stock, $200 stock. The liquidity is not as great as Tesla, I'll give you that. but there is still opportunities to trade the stock with decent amount of accuracy, with the good liquidity, you know, opportunities to get in and out and be wrong and not take too much of a hit when you're wrong, because it won't slip you too hard. It's not like 5 below or something right off the open. It'll be a little bit better off the open tomorrow, at least from my experience. So in my opinion, AVGX, does it have enough volume? AVGX trades way less volume than AVGO, so unless this one brings in more volume tomorrow, by more volume I'm saying $1 million, right? 1 million shares, sorry. It needs to bring in 1 million shares in the pre-market or more. At that point, okay, I might be a little interested, but besides that, you know, I'm not really too keen on trading something like that when the stock price is not in the thousands. It's not in the 500s like MSTR. When it's in the 500s, it's crazy. It whips back and forth $3-4. In that case, I might trade MSTL, or is it MSTL? MSTX or SMST instead of trading MSTR. But now that MSTR is back into the 300-400 area where it's a little bit manageable, I'll trade MSTR. Sometimes, for example, today there were situations where I traded TSLL, and there were situations where I traded TSLA. So I switch back and forth depending on what instrument I'm choosing to deploy my attack on. It all depends on the chart patterns on the main stock at the end of the day. That's a whole different topic. So if you have those issues, then maybe looking at AVGX or anything else might be worthy, but you got to keep in mind that if they don't have volume, you might get trapped very easily. It'll be illiquid for you to get out and get in and so on. So just be careful on that side. Make sure it has volume if you're looking to day trade that. If you're looking to swing trade that, I guess, you know, as long as AVGO keeps going higher, then AVGX should also keep going higher technically because of the correlation of it, right? However, I don't like those instruments as an investment because they get repriced. Their ETFs, they're not actually positions themselves, so they get repriced, and people get screwed over by holding these names for the long term. You know, it's just not worth it. The swing, couple of days maybe. Day trade for sure if they have volume, but I don't know about investing AVGX. Costco reported earnings today after hours. A little bit of a back and forth action. So let's bring in our good friends at Benzinga again. Obviously, check out the links below in the description. Check out Benzinga, which will point you to the best news tool out there. I actually have their squawk playing throughout the day, and the squawk is what points me out to moves like WDC and NKLA whenever they start moving around. Very good tool to have always in the back pocket. If you're especially a news trader, if you're a news trader, you want to have something like this installed. All right, so let's take a look at how Costco reported today on their earnings report. Here's the bigger report. That's the one I'm looking for. Beat EPS, beat revenue, comparable stores up 5.2%, membership fee growth. Let's go. And more. Let's continue reading into this one. 62.15 billion revenue, 62.08 billion estimates. So beating revenue slightly. Membership-based retailer report. Why do you gotta put all that extra stuff? 3.82 per share, beating estimates of 3.79. Another small beat on the EPS side. That's pretty good. Costco noted its earnings and results included tax benefits of 100 million or 22 cents per diluted share, resulted to stock-based compensation. Net sales for the first quarter were up 7.5% year over year. Comparable sales up 5.2%. US up 5.2%. Canada up 4.7%. And other international segments. 4.7 and other international segments. Gotcha. Total comparable stores up 5.2% overall. Total e-commerce sales increased by 13%. Membership fees came in at 1.17 billion, up from 1.08 billion from same period last year. Earlier this year, Costco announced it was raising its prices of its annual store membership by $5. The member fee increase went into effect on September 1st. Costco said it now operates 897 warehouses, including 617 in the US. That's crazy, really? That means Canada only has like what, about 150 to 200. That's insane. The company ended the quarter with 10.91 billion in cash and cash equivalents, up from 9.91 billion at the end of the fourth quarter. Management will further discuss on the conference call. Stock, however, at the time of the report flushed down. It went back and forth. I'm surprised they did not announce a stock split. This is the only name that's kind of hanging on to its price to the dear life. Come on, let's have a stock split. 7.53% growth though is not bad at all if you ask me. However, you know, if I want to trade Costco tomorrow, Costco for $1,000 stock, I think it's a little tradable. It's a little cleaner and a little tradable for $1,000 stocks that I've mostly traded back in the day. Tesla, Nvidia, and so on. However, those back in the day were liquid, so those didn't hurt as much as Costco might tomorrow. So surprising, Costco still did not report you know, a stock split. Come on, Costco, let's make things fun a little bit. Bring the price down like the rest of the companies did. Obviously, I'm referencing to Walmart. Walmart had a stock split, and actually I think tomorrow, off of Costco's earnings report, Walmart might be a way better trade, because if Costco sells off, Walmart sympathy trades itself to the downside, and a breakdown of today's low, which is also a little bit below, sorry, a little bit above this little, what is it, Monday's low. So starting of this week's low, just below Monday's low, 93.60. I think if Walmart can get below this, it's a little overextended on the daily also. So if this one can break down with Costco's sympathy trade behind it, it's got a nice move to the downside. But if Walmart doesn't break below 36.50, 36.60, then I don't think there is any short at all. It might actually give you, on the flip side, a great long, because Walmart actually reported a decent earnings report. They had a monster move off that earnings report reaction, broke out to new all-time highs, and looks like they wanted to go back into the $100 price point. Well, I shouldn't say back, because you know, they're just going to the 100 after having a stock split, but it looked like they were a no-brainer long back down there into 60 bucks, right? So going into $100 over here, but with the help of Costco, maybe we get a little bit of a gravitational pull on WMT. Let's also go to Walmart on the daily chart here and look at where the 200-day moving average is. That's at 71. So I think Walmart has a nice opportunity here from sympathy trade opportunities off of Costco, but Costco needs to sell off. If Costco doesn't sell off, then there's just forget about the short on Walmart. Maybe Walmart can give you a sympathy long, but I don't think I'm that interested in that at that point. If Costco sells, look for sympathy trade short below 93.50. I'll say 94 to 93.50 because today's low is 94, but the stock might even gap. I mean, what did it do in after hours? What did the stock do in after hours? Did it get below 94 in the after hours? Not really. I'll set an alert. You know what? That's what I'll do. I'll set an alert right here, 93.90. If Costco sells, look for sympathy trade short below 93.50. Yes, that's all. That's simple. Just keep it simple, Prad. Keep it simple, stupid. And that will be a little bit of a higher priority than Costco for tomorrow. Obviously, because of Costco's expensive price, $1,000, a little bit illiquid. It's 14 million the shares for Costco. Sorry, that's Walmart. That's right. Costco should be like 2 million. 2 million shares, there we go, that's more like it. At $1,000, at $900 is actually not that bad if you ask me. So I might still look for opportunities on Costco, but let's actually go take a look at also what Costco's PE is. Any guesses? 59? Not bad. It's red, but it's not bad. It's expensive, yes, but it's not bad. We've seen worse, right? We've seen much worse PE on the market over here. I might look for an opportunity. I don't know what I want to do with it right now based off of its earnings report. You know, obviously the stock had a nothing burger reaction, so I don't really know what I want to do with the stock at the moment. I'll decide what I want to do with it in the pre-market, but I know one thing for sure. If this one's selling off, then I am looking for a short on Walmart. If Costco's selling off, then I'm for sure looking for a short on Walmart. So that is a guaranteed trade over there. Let's go to RH, Restoration Hardware. This one's a lot less liquid than you know, Costco. For way less price also. So a lot less liquid, way less price. But if I remember correctly, Restoration Hardware was having a lot of issues with, you know, Restoration Hardware is all about renovating homes and so on. But when people are struggling to have extra money in their pocket because of inflation, they're not even buying houses the way that people were buying houses before because of interest rates and so on. The company took a little bit of a hit and flushed off. They weren't making as much money, but now more foot traffic. Interest rates are going down. For example, ECB cut their interest rates a little bit today. I'm not sure when the next FOMC date is. Let's actually go check quickly when the next FOMC date is. That's not the website. That's not the website. I closed it. All right. Oh, 5 days till the next FOMC. 5 days till the next FOMC. You got a 96% probability that we are going to cut rates. I like it. We're going to cut rate coming up. So more of a reason for RH to potentially make a pop off of this very same catalyst. They're reporting earnings today. Not sure if they made a pop off of that earnings. Let's go check it out. They did. I love it. And you know why I like it? Because if you look at it on the daily chart here, this is a nice consolidation just before the breakout. So we got a nice breakout after this consolidation on this name. Stock clearly well above $400 at this point in the after hours and making a nice run into 465. Okay, now I'm not as you know, liking it, because this means that's too much of a move. Now I might have to look for a short just because of the, you know, my trading style. Might have to look for a short now, damn it. But no, let's go take a look at the report. Restoration Hardware, sorry, maybe that's not what they want to go by anymore. They go by RH. How did you report? 811 million, 811.73 versus 812.16. So missing revenue. Okay. Luxury retailer, blah 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 blah, 2.48 versus 2.65, missed again. Despite reporting headline numbers that fell short of analyst estimates, soaring after hours, what seems to be on a reaction of strong guidance. Told ya, strong guidance across the board, because interest rates seem to be getting ready to go lower, and this will bring in more foot traffic. RH raised their revenue guidance across the board based on current trends. The company expects fourth quarter demand to be growth of 20 to 22%, fourth quarter revenue growth of 18 to 20%. RH also raised its full year outlook. Company now expects full year demand to grow between 9.9 to 10.4, expects full year revenue to be between 6.8 to 7.2. The positive inflection of our business continued to gain momentum, with the third quarter demand increasing by 13%. Despite operating in the worst housing market in 30 years, our vector is increasing in both magnitude and direction, with November demand up 18%. As the most prolific product transformation and platform expansion in the history of our industry continues to unfold. The company said, I mean, you might as well throw in the words AI in there, right? The most prolific transformation with the help of AI that our industry has ever untold. That would just launch you even higher, the company said in its letter to shareholders. I mean, that's crazy. At this point, I just want to look short. You missed EPS, you missed revenue, and you're guiding, but you know, I do have a positive sentiment on this company based on interest rate decisions and so on, but this is crazy. This is crazy. R8 said the demand jumped by 24% in November and has continued to accelerate in December, with demand up 30% month to date. Okay, that's not bad. Company also provided positive commentary on the impacts of potential tariffs as it continues to move operations out of China. We do not expect a negative impact to margins as a result of most of the recent communications regarding the potential for increased tariffs in 2025. We have been proactively moving sourcing away from China over the past several years, with expectations of fully exiting the country by the end of the second quarter. Okay. RH up 16.68% of the time of the report at $445. Obviously, we saw it popped as high as $465 after hours. So big move. Big move. I mean, if it goes to 500 tomorrow, I'm looking short. I'm looking short. If it goes to 500 tomorrow, I'm simply looking short. It's ridiculous at this point. That's actually a very clean breakout. You can see how it actually popped, consolidated right before a previous rejected area, and then broke out of that cleanly on the monthly chart, on the daily chart. So pretty good breakout. I think on the dips you're looking for longs, but on the rips you're looking for short. So if it does give you a dip into anywhere above 400, 420, 430, whatever bar charts, potentially bar charts can come in and help you over here to see where options are, how they are situating themselves at the moment. Let's go take a look at that. What in the heck? Why the heck? How do I see what I want to see? There we go. So after hours, we are at well above 430. Alright, fine. Fine. So we can only see where the stock closed at. Obviously, we can't see the future until tomorrow, I guess. So waiting till tomorrow to see what other levels are there. You can see how 400 had a pretty good amount of call options over there sitting, and we just broke through that level without a problem on the earnings report over here, which was lackluster, but ran through that report. So if the stock does pull back into 400 and find buying above 400, any options writers who are now caught offside and have not bought shares yet, half of this move could be because they are now caught off guard and they have to go buy these shares just so they don't have to lose by having to buy the stock much later, honestly. So you're getting a big pump because of the options and run up over here. So on any pullback into some of these options levels, 430, you saw how 430 was a decent amount of a level. Below that you have 410, 420, 400. So basically every $10 levels to the downside, you're waiting for an actual hold to show up on these dips, not blindly trying along in every single $10 level or every single $5 level. You're waiting for the stock to pull back, show you a bottom. These are usually a 5-minute candle high break, a 2-minute candle high break, or something like that, with a good amount of support coming in. Maybe you get a volume spike on a big move down right off the open, and the stock just bottoms out after that. You could have a move down and a 15-30 minute hold on the lower end of the range where the stock could potentially break down, or it could hold and then go back up, which is what I did with the Stitch Fix yesterday, if you remember my trade that I was talking to you guys about. So Stitch Fix yesterday, something like that. So a couple opportunities over there on the dips if people are very bullish about the stock. But if they're not, then it should be very easy and very obvious is to just get pummeled absolutely to the downside and have no buying opportunity at all tomorrow. So based on the reaction that we got on the stock, I'll be watching for a long on dips. But if off the open tomorrow the stock is opening up into 470, 480, 500, then yes, I'm looking short. I'm looking short at that point because that's just insane. That's crazy. That's just too much. So I'll be watching for a short at that point on RH. At the moment we have, what was it again, 465 high in the after hours, 465. I'm going to use the inflection level as 450 because the stock is just kind of trading around that area at the moment, that 450 area. And then you can see how this after hour hold, the only real test of a low that we got on the after hours was that 440 area. So you got about 440, 450, 465, these three prices that you're kind of keeping an eye on to see how trade opportunity set up on RH. Now let's go to the stock that actually reported earnings today. What the heck is this? ADBE. I typed the wrong ticker completely and actually found some random name. ADBE reported earnings yesterday after hours and sold off. I was looking for a long for the most part, but I never forced it, so I didn't really trade the stock today because I was only looking for the long. But if you were not long biased based off the earnings report, then you had a lot of chances to look for a short. You got good setups, honestly. You got very good setups. You got potentially the opening range low that you could have taken. I would have not have taken that, but this setup right here, which is the VWAP continuation, stock pops into the 20-day moving average, 20 EMA on the 5-minute chart, 21 EMA on the 5-minute chart, rejects, does that 3 times, which is also right around VWAP, does that 3 times and gives you a VWAP continuation trade. You could have gotten short on these pops or taken that breakout to the downside, having a tight risk above 21 EMA and not even having to risk all the way back up here, in my opinion, or maybe 21 EMA for half your size and then the rest of the half of the size above these little pops, if you are wanting to be a little fancy with your trade and enjoying the ride to the downside. So Adobe got really slammed down today, but my opinion is I'm still going to be patiently looking for the long. This level did breach the 475, which was what, last month's low. So we did breach last month's low, but it also reclaimed last month's low. So I'm not sure if I want to call this as a break. I might call this as a fail break to the downside from last month's low. So technically, as long as the stock holds above 475, today's low was 470, really 471, 470. So I'll put that one on watch right there. Maybe my inflection level will be 475. I think as long as the stock opens above 475 and holds above 475 on any dips, I am very interested to look for a long on this name. As for the resistance, you can look for how today's VWAP, which is also around earnings VWAP, 480 to 485, how that plays out as a first resistance zone. If the stock just burns through that area and is able to not find resistance into 480, I think it easily goes back into 500 or at least 495, which was today's high. So watching how the stock sets up on a potential reversal, I'm still long biased off of the earnings report. So if I don't find a long, I might not really trade it, or I might look for a short and keep it very very light on the size, because my trade setup that I'm planning for is on the long side. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because a lot of people sometimes get trapped in their own setup. They create a trade plan, they create a setup, and then when the stock actually opens up tomorrow, it kind of plays around the same levels that they prepared for and they set up for, but then it doesn't actually give them the exact same setup that they were looking for. It's playing around the levels, but it's not giving you the same setup that you planned for. If it's not doing that, just stay away. It's not worth it, because you're just gonna trade the stock in a worse way. The advantage of having a big watch list like this and the disadvantages of having a big watch list like this is sometimes you're gonna have FOMO of watching one of the plans work when you're too busy trading a different plan and trading that plan poorly, right? So that's a disadvantage of it. But the advantage is when you can see you have a clear defined plan, what you want to do with the stock, and if the stock is not doing what you want it to do, then you just don't trade it. You look for a stock that's actually doing what you want it to do based on your plans, based on your outline, and then you go execute on that the best you can. Sometimes that's all you need. You don't need to go trade 30 stocks on the day, right? You just need one and trade it well, and then, you know, boom. The next day, go do it again. Next day, go do it again. Next day, go do it again. That's all it is. Repetition. So watching how ADBE can give me a possible trade opportunity tomorrow. Stitch Fix was a big reversal back down after a monster long yesterday. So that was insane. Stitch Fix got absolutely annihilated today, down 30% after a pop yesterday on their earnings report. So wow, I mean, this is something that I'm going to have to write up in my notes. That was absolutely insane if you ask me. Looking to see how the stock can trade tomorrow. If you can see how yesterday's low, which was the earnings day low, also today's VWAP, both coming in right around the same price, around $5 to $5.30. So if the stock can pop into $5 to $5.30 and show me rejections tomorrow, I will be interested to see if there is a short setup coming in, because this doesn't happen by random. Someone dumped and they dumped hard. So on a pop into these areas, if the stock does find some selling, I think there's a day 2 short opportunity. Volume will be dying down drastically though, so if the volume's not good enough for me, I might just stay away from the trade opportunity completely. So watching how the stock trades into 5, big reject candle after earnings, watching for $5 to get short. Bang. Okay. PLAY. If you ask me, honestly, this was the best trade of the day. Yesterday was already a big down move on PLAY, but the best trade of the day, if you honestly ask me today, was again PLAY, because of the multi-year low. The stock took out a multi-year low, 2021, 2022, 2023. The stock just simply did not get below $29 at all, and then yesterday on the earnings report flushes into 29, bounces off of 29. Today gets below 29 off the open. Granted, you might not get short right off the open because of how low liquid volume the stock usually is. It's only a 1 million share average volume. Today it actually brought in 6 million shares because someone had to dump yesterday, someone had to dump today. Potentially the buyer who was buying at 29 this whole time for the past 3 years is now looking to dump it. They're like, screw this name, I'm tired of it, I'm done, and they're exiting. So this is a monster move. This is a day 2 move, getting below a multi-year low. This is the short right here as the stock takes out the low a day, very similar to the stock that we just looked at, Stitch Fix. The stock Stitch Fix got below yesterday earnings day low, broke the intraday low, and then just started selling off. What did Dave & Buster's do? Get below yesterday's low, got below the intraday low right here, and then just simply started selling off. So these are amazing setups right here. Keep a note of the setup. The next time you see something like that, you hammer it, because man, what a monster move. On a stock whose ATR is $2.54, you're getting a $5 range on the stock today. That's very rare. That's very rare. So tomorrow on a pop and reject into today's VWAP will be a great setup to keep an eye on. So today's VWAP is around $27. I'll be watching to see if 27 rejects above 27. If the stock pops into a very easy number, 28, 29, I'll be waiting there patiently. Isn't that a song? Isn't that how a song goes? Very weak. Looking for pop and reject into yesterday's VWAP or 29 area. Okay, And obviously stock bounced off of 25, so we'll watch how 25 plays out. Priority, high priority tomorrow. Might have low volume tomorrow, but very high priority because this stock is getting very interesting for the downside action. Any pops, I'm ideally looking short until or unless it reclaims 29. Until or unless it reclaims 29, I'm only looking short on pops. GME did report earnings, but I mean, this is boring. I don't care about what GME is doing at the moment. AI, also very boring, just kind of consolidating again. But if AI can get above 40, that can get interesting. So once again, you want to have an alert. AI tried to get above 40 today, did not manage to do so. So you want to have an alert again to see if AI actually can get above 40 or it gets below 35. That's, like I said, same thing as yesterday. Either it gets below 35.50, is it? 35.50 actually. Either it gets below 35.50 or it gets above 40, and then we have some fun to play with. So AI, keeping a watch on this one. Again, I think I'm gonna actually downgrade the priority from purple to orange, which is mid priority for tomorrow. Mid priority until unless these levels come back into play. Palantir. Palantir actually gave you a good long today, surprisingly enough, but that long chopped around quite a bit. It chopped around quite a bit, and then you got screwed over later on in the day, just like the market got screwed over later on in the day. So I got long. I enjoyed my long until it got burnt. Oh, that was annoying. Anyways, Palantir kind of maybe in no man's land at the moment on the daily chart. You could get a breakout above 76 and a run above 76. What is this day's high right here? 75.50. Today's high is also around 75.50. So there could be a breakout of Palantir above 75.50 to the north side again. I did say Palantir kind of topped out. But right now with the way it's behaving, maybe not. Maybe not. So until 68 breaks or 73.50 breaks, I'm not really too sure what I want to do with Palantir. So just waiting patiently, either 75.50 or 68 to the downside. SOUN. Also just stuck in a range, not getting below 13, not getting above 15, so just stuck in a range. Watching it closely, Roblox. Roblox looked like it was gonna take out 61 today. It was holding 60 so well for all day. Well, not all day, well, at least for the open, right? Popped above 60, rejected 61, held 60 for pretty much an hour, 2 hours off the open, popped back into 61, rejected 61, sold off, and then just big move to the downside. I'm angry because, again, same move as Palantir. I was long, I was making money until it broke down, and it just kind of broke my whole day apart. Kind of sucked today. Today just sucked on the market. Horrible day on the market today. It sucked. Okay, it sucked. Anyways, we're not here to complain about the market. We're here to talk about how we can make money tomorrow. So Roblox, not really something I want to be trading at the moment. It's too dirty. If Roblox pops into 6, you know what? No, I'm gonna delete it off my watch list just so I don't have to watch it tomorrow. Lululemon pulling back into the earnings anchored VWAP. So basically watching at the earnings anchored VWAP at the moment, which I believe is at 388. It says 388.50. 5-day moving averages at 388. So let's just go with 388. 388 to 390 on Lululemon. As long as the stock can stay above this area, I might be even a little lenient and give it up to 385 to the dip and see if it gives you a long into 385. So waiting for its stock to pull back, give you a clear hold of the bottoms and give you a long. It'll be very low volume, right? So just make sure that you're waiting for a real clear hold to come in. Liquidity is going to be low also, just so keep that in the back of your mind. Might just be a long at 11 o'clock or later on in the day when the stock reclaims VWAP or something like that. But as the stock is getting ready to bounce off of earnings VWAP, test, watch for hold / bounce, bounce from EA VWAP, then look for setups to get long. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. As long as it makes sense to me, that's all that matters, okay? It makes sense to me. MSTR, Bitcoin actually got back above, 100K again. But as you guys are looking at it right now, boom, it got back below 100K again. So Bitcoin just kind of playing back and forth with everyone's hearts, going above 100K, getting back below 100K. And at the same time, it's also playing with everybody who is currently involved with MicroStrategy. MSTR also playing with everyone who's involved with Coinbase. So I have levels mapped out. All of it depends on what Bitcoin is doing end of the day for me. So until Bitcoin starts to decide to sell off below 100K and really stay below 100K, then I'm looking for big shorts on coin, MicroStrategy, and so on. If Bitcoin is rallying back above 100K and now going to make a new all-time high above 103 or wherever the all-time high was, then I'm looking for longs and so on. So other opportunities all on the table. As long as Bitcoin's moving, this whole sector is on watch. In terms of levels, I mean, these levels don't really matter anymore. When it comes to the sector is too crazy, too nuts. Mara, for example. Mara, I think, had a green day today. Nope. Mara's actually looking like a short. I like it. Mara's looking like a short below 2250, especially if Bitcoin doesn't hold above 100K. Especially if Bitcoin doesn't hold above 100K. Hut 8 had a pop, big pop today, and then got slammed back down. Boom, nice pop, and then sold right back. V-shaped recovery, right back below VWAP on poor old Hut 8. Anyways, not the stocks that we want to keep an eye on. CADL sold off in the after hours, so not sure if there is a real trade on this one tomorrow. I'll keep it on my watch list, but I'm not sure there's anything here. But there's another stock to keep an eye on for tomorrow. HIMX, which I think is somewhat of a real company. They're not a small cap garbage company, okay? I guess they are a small cap because it's a 1 billion market cap, but it's kind of a real company, HIMX. However, this is very extended on the daily. You could get a short setup, but this could easily keep squeezing tomorrow. This doesn't have to be a mean reversion right away tomorrow, right? Yeah, it took out a big level on the daily chart, but this doesn't have to be mean reversion. And looks like the stock is also a semiconductor name. They actually had a news catalyst today that they might be working with Nvidia and somebody else. What was the news catalyst on HIMX? With Nvidia and TSM, they may be reports stated the company may be a Nvidia and TSM supplier. So just rumors that they may be a supplier. We don't know if they are or they aren't, but that rumor was enough alone to carry the stock 50% to the high side. So nice move on HIMX. Let's see if today's VWAP holds up as a long opportunity, which is right around, ooh, I love that, right around 840, 850, which is also right before the breakout area where the stock broke out from. So if the stock can hold above 850 on dips, I think there's a good long setting up again for the north side. If we take out, if the stock pops in pre-market a little bit higher and takes out the pre-market high, I think that could be a big long setup. But I think there will be a lot of people actually watching for the stock as a short. For reference, maybe we should go take a look at some of the other companies that were announced to have partnership with Nvidia and companies like that, right? For example, I think QMCO was one of them. This was the news day where it pops up and you can see how the next day it gaps up, runs so much higher, and then sold off. Maybe we can go to SoundHound, which was also a name way back in the day where they announced that Nvidia partnership will be taking place. That's IPO. Nvidia partnership news probably came somewhere around here. Big move, pop up, and the next day pops higher. So very similar move. They might give you a long and a short. So this might be a big opportunity tomorrow. Very, very high importance, high priority on HIMX. At the moment on HIMX, the clear level on watch is the 850 to the downside. Ideally, you don't want to see the stock getting below 850 if you're looking for a long. If it gives you a dip buy into 850, that's a no-brainer dip buy opportunity. If the stock is giving you some sort of a breakout into $10, I think you know, looking long into 10 is something that I will be doing, but I will also be ready to jump out of the long very quickly just in case the stock is trapping some longs here and then flushes back to the downside. I will play with this area a little bit. I will give it some tries. So HimX might be a legitimate company to keep an eye on for a couple of days, because it might be rallying a little bit. So keep an eye on this. The float's 174 million, short float's only 3%, 3.6%. So it's not a garbage company, okay? PE 21, it's fucking cheap, right? So this one, it will be looking to possibly fly, absolutely fly like an eagle. Especially also with semiconductors, AVGO going higher at the moment. AVGO going higher, if Nvidia goes higher, if TSM goes higher, if semiconductors go higher, I think HimX tomorrow might just you know, take over my whole watch list and say F my whole watch list tomorrow. I only care about HimX tomorrow. That's it. Right, so depending on what the stock does, I will care about very much be interested on this one. Pre-market will be indicative to see how the stock moves. What do you think of AMD here? I don't day trade AMD. I don't day trade AMD. I try not to have opinions on AMD. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what I don't know. I don't try to do anything with what I don't have information about. LOVE reported earnings in pre-market, I think, Lovesac, and a big breakdown. You can see how it was holding fairly well above this, what, $36 area, and it broke down to the downside with the big volume candle. You can look at today as a day one. So if today was day one, then the stock should reject right at today's VWAP, which was also at last month's low. So 28 to 28.50 on LOVE. I think I'm very interested to see how that one plays out on a possible pop, but that could be a very late day trade, right? So I'll give it an orange respect. It's not really getting a purple respect for tomorrow. It's not getting a purple heart respect, but it does get an orange respect, meaning on the watch list I'll give it a little bit of importance to see if the reject into 28.50 can give me a short. Don't care until stock pops into 28 to 28.50 and rejects for a short. Not interested in a long at all. Done. HimX, I want to talk about HimX in my notes. I want to say if 850 holds, love the long idea. Love the holds, love the long idea for a day 2 VWAP play. If stock goes above 10 in PM and sets up for a breakout, I do like it, but keeping it tight risk. Okay, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. Now I have my notes ready, locked and loaded. Now, next few stocks I want to talk about. I think the real issue is doesn't want to day trade his long-term investments. That's true. That is true, but I don't have any more long-term investments, but AMD was one of them, and I hold AMD too close to my heart. I just don't like trading AMD. I just don't. Hold AMD too close to my heart, even though I don't own them anymore. I don't have any more investments except for SoFi. But you know what they say, right? Separate your long-term and your day trade accounts. Separate your long-term and your day trade accounts. At the moment, man, honestly, AMD is sucking. They are so far behind the ball in terms of AI that they are just absolutely sucking. So we'll see what happens. They might have to, partner up with some big companies, which I think they're already doing. They are making some changes. I think they also announced something recently in the AI world, in the quantum world or something. So AMD could be a bounce back, right? I think AMD is also into 200-day moving averages. Oh, 200-day moving averages to the high side. That's not a good sign. But usually, stocks like AMD, stocks like Nvidia, they don't spend too much time below the 200-day moving average unless the market is in a bear market, or the stock needs to be really in a bear market. So right now, you know, this could be opportunities to maybe buy some shares. Is the PE still high? PE is still high, 116. So, you know, it's just so many questions. They're so far behind the ball. They're sucking at the moment. Not sure if investors are liking it. This could be coupled in the same basket as Intel, and see how Intel's now back into $20. Like, what the Intel? Oh my god, I thought Intel was doing good for a while. Intel back under 20 bucks here. So sad, man. Intel can't catch a break. Yikes. So Intel back. So this, like, AMD could very much end up in this basket just because of Nvidia. Just because of Nvidia. Okay, so Nvidia is kind of doing some shady shit, if you ask me. Maybe not shady, but you know, they're just taking over the market in every way, in every realm, taking over at the moment. But you know, you still need an AMD chip or an Nvidia, sorry, Intel chip in your computer to run a computer at the end of the day. So I'm not saying they're going bankrupt. I'm just saying, you know, it's they're struggling in areas that they shouldn't be at the moment, because they need to be at the forefront of these industries, right? So then they're not. Google pulling back into previous all-time high and giving you a little bit of a dip and buy opportunity into the previous all-time high. But if you ask me, like I said, this is a big exhausted candle on Google. I think as Google might just set up for a little bit of a consolidation in this area. I'm not really too interested to trade Google unless the market sells off tomorrow and Google gets back under you know, 191 or 190. If Google gets back below 191/190 tomorrow, I'm so interested for a short. But besides that, you know, I don't care. But the market needs to be selling off first. If the market's not selling off, I don't care what Google does. Nvidia, you know, this one could be a little bit different opportunity because AVGO breaking out to the north side potentially will be dragging the whole semiconductor industry to the upside. So that's why HIMX is so important. HIMX is so important because of that reason tomorrow. So AVGO taking SMH, taking overall QQQ, taking S&P 500, taking Nvidia, all of them a little bit higher in my opinion. So Nvidia could give you a breakout long, but just because of how good HIMX looks at the moment, it's got my name written all over it, so I can't wait to go trade that name tomorrow instead of Nvidia in terms of the sympathy trade on the AVGO earnings. So kind of watching Nvidia, but also not really watching Nvidia. It's on my watch list, but you know, Nvidia needs to get above 140 for me. Needs to get above 140 for me to really care about it. Show me that you're getting above 140 and holding above 140 for me to be even slightly interested for the long. Microsoft got above 450 today, but then got right back under 450 going into the close, kind of like what Apple did a few days ago. This could be day one of the, you know, short. I'm joking. I think market honestly goes a little bit higher tomorrow, so Microsoft potentially gives you a long. I'm not too sure I want to be trading Microsoft tomorrow. Amazon looking like it might give you a breakout over here. Tomorrow could be a 3-bar breakout. So you got day bar 1, bar 2, and then if you get a 3-bar breakout, that means tomorrow will be the breakout above 231. And if that happens, that could have some juice, especially with the market going higher. So the market needs to go higher in the pre-market. We'll see if any economic calendar conditions will be helping us out. So market needs to go higher in the pre-market. 231 needs to break out and the stock needs to hold above 231. If market is bullish and ripping higher, I think Amazon is a daily 3-bar play. That goes into my notes. Apple, watching Apple, there you go, that's exactly the candle. So yesterday was that candle on Microsoft, yesterday was the candle on Apple, today's that candle on Microsoft, and you can expect a very similar move on Microsoft tomorrow. That's why I'm not interested to trade Microsoft at all. However, Apple, not interested on trading Apple either. Not interested on trading Apple either. Very interested in trading Tesla. Tesla holding the previous all-time high 415 cleanly on the dip buy over here. So as long as Tesla stays above 415, if you guys remember my sentiment yesterday, if above 415, no look short, period. That's it. End the statement. If above 415, no look short. Xena, a stock that we traded previously, holding some consolidation lows, and now with this tight, very slight volume increase today, breaking out a little bit. So keeping track of this name, not sure what I want to do with it, but just gonna keep track on it. Gonna put blue indicator on my watch list to see what the stock does and if any trade opportunities open up on it. Warner Brother Digital actually popped higher today. I'm not sure what the news was. Restructuring announcement? Okay. The Warner Brother Digital with a big breakout, but extended. So either the stock gets above 1270, 13, or rejects into this area and gives you a short. I just don't see it going much higher tomorrow, I'll be honest with you. But either 1270 to today's high was what, 1270 exactly? Are you kidding me? That's insane. Either it gets above 1270 to 13 and shows buying above it, or it gives you a short opportunity on a pop into that area. So either holds above our levels or pops and gives a short setup. Okay, so watching this one for some rejects, but if today's VWAP holds on dips, that could be a long too. But however, today's VWAP is too close, too close. So either you pop into 13 and you reject for a short, or I don't care what this one does. ARM was a good breakout on the daily chart. On the daily chart, if you look at ARM, nice breakout level right there at 144.50. However, today at 150, it had some struggle to get above 150. You can see how today high was exactly 150, but now with the earnings report from AVGO, this one's getting a little bit of a juice above 150 already in the after hours. So any dip back into 150, if it holds, I think watching along into that area, it will be worthy. Also watching today's VWAP, because you can look at today as day one. So today's VWAP is what, 147.66. So anywhere from 150 to 147.50. I know it's a $3 range on a stock whose ATR is $6. So Prad, that's crazy. That doesn't mean that I'm actually looking long at 150 and I'm giving it all the way to 147.60 as my stop. No, I'm looking long in this whole area, and I'm waiting for patterns to form in this area to see where the buyers are stepping in. And once the buyers actually come in and protect the stock from crumbling too far to the downside, that's when I step in to take advantage of the long. So watching how ARM sets up on the dip. If yesterday was day one and AVGO earnings sympathy, I can't type for shit. SYMPATHY is real, stock should not get below 150. Okay, now let's go to CHRW. CHRW, this is a stock apparently in the transportation, air freight, couriers, but the stock today just kind of slightly broke above the all-time high, which it hasn't since August of 2022. So consolidated right before the breakout on the daily chart, consolidated right before the breakout on the monthly chart. This is, you know, a higher time frame breakout, a lower time frame breakout, and the breakout is kind of just getting ready, if you ask me. Granted, the stock doesn't have too much volume. Not sure what the news catalyst is. I think I remember trying to find the news catalyst on this one. What was it for this one? Is it just upgrade for this one? Not sure what the news catalyst is, but if this news is real for the stock, then, you know, obviously today's VWAP should find buying. The stock technically should find buying above today's high and stay above today's high, which is a new all-time high. So if the stock has some importance tomorrow above 144, I think it's a no-brainer long at that point. So my inflection level to keep an eye on what the stock does will be 144. If it's 114. If it finds buying above 114, I'll be interested to look for a long. As for a dip buy, I'll be watching for a dip buy into 112. If 112 shows me buying, I'll be interested to look for a long there. Let's also zoom into the 5-minute chart here real quick. Wow, look at that breakout. So I wanna actually look at the anchor VWAP from that area. So that's 113. So 113 to 112.50. So 112.50 to 113 is the area that I want to keep an eye on. 112.50 because that's today's VWAP, and the anchored VWAP is 113. So 113 to 112.50 is the area that I want to keep an eye on. That little consolidation low is at 11.50. Okay, so now I'm just going to be moving the bar back and back. So we'll be watching this area to see how the stock plays out. Ideally shouldn't get below today's VWAP and this moves VWAP and get ready to keep on going higher. You can see how after hours it actually bounced off of last month's high and ripped a little bit higher on very tiny volume. So if the stock is holding above 114 in pre-market off the open, easy long at that point. So if stock opens above 114 and stays above it, look for long on dips or VWAP continuation to get long. Okay, UNH, the stock just cannot catch a break, man. Yikes. It's not even the main CEO who died. Stock cannot catch a break, and at the same time CVS is also getting destroyed. Not like CVS's CEO got killed, right? So you know, CVS getting absolutely pummeled at the moment. Things like this can't be predicted. This is a 12 PE company, 12 PE company getting pummeled only because its sister rival companies are getting pummeled off of their news catalyst. Granted, a lot of speculation about, you know, regulators coming in and possibly changing up the space a little bit, making insurance not as scammy as possible. I mean, come on guys, are we for real? These companies are gonna get a slap on the wrist and they're not gonna force anything. These insurance companies like sit in these politicians' pockets and they line their pockets as lobbyists. So they're not gonna change any laws that actually affect in people's favor. So let's stop trying to live in la la land here and think that these policies are going to change that helps people out. And if they do, they will find a way to make money off of people in other ways. That's the name of these insurance companies, right? So you got to understand what's going to happen. Second thing is CVS getting pummeled this way is just doesn't make sense. So I'm looking for a long, not only on UNH, but even more so on CVS. This just took out the 52-week low. 52-week low. That, granted, the earnings report actually looks to be pretty bad, because you can see how in the earnings report the stock absolutely started getting sold off. So this could just be a trickle down since earnings report reaction over here. So let's go find the earnings reaction. That is the earnings reaction. Wow, pop up on the earnings reaction and then get sold off ever since. That's so weird. Earnings reaction, let's throw that in as ER. Go back to daily chart. I mean, that's insane. Earnings reaction, sold off, bottomed out, pop back, UNH, right? So that's just insane. Again, what do you mean again? What happened? BD. Who's BD? Who are you talking about? Barkate. Hi, Prad. Today's your final day on the live stream for the show. For the year. For this year, yes. It is the final show of this year. I need to read the chat more. Macy's closing 65 stores. Did they sell off? I didn't really watch Macy's today. I didn't care about Macy's today. I'm just saying because of WD. Oh, yeah, because Western Digital, WDC. We'll talk about WDC. It's on the watch list. We're almost at the end of the watch list here. Made profit on Nvidia 3 days in a row, buying low and selling high for a change. Let's go, sir. AVGX is double leverage. I played into earnings close before report. I like it. I like it. What do you think of AMD? I answered that already. I think the real issue is, okay, I read that. It's all good. I agree they have been slow on the AI front, but it has come down enough at this point, in my opinion. I mean, look, stocks can always go lower. Stocks can always go lower, right? I just started a position here at the 130 area. I will keep buying on the dips. Now that's the good thing. If you have a strategy which is like dollar cost averaging, keep buying on the dips, then I think in the long run, which is what, 5 years, 10 years, you shouldn't worry about what's happening right now. You shouldn't worry about what's happening right now. If you can tough out what's happening right now for the futures gains, then yeah, if you have a strategy, just keep buying dips, keep keep looking for dollar cost averaging strategies, and you know, in the long run that hopefully works out and doesn't fucking intel on people. Let's hope it doesn't intel. Thank you, Prad. I do have WBD in your watch list, or for tomorrow's or in your personal account, for what is it, swing trading or investing or whatever. If you have it in investing, boy oh boy, you're loving this pop today. But I don't think this pop is sustainable. This move is overextended on the daily chart also. So CVS looking for a long, UNH looking for a long. Very, very easy trades on that side. Looking for a long. Copy. Paste. All right, now the last few stocks I want to talk about are NKLA, WDC, RGTI, and IonQ. NKLA obviously because they reported that they could potentially struggle with liquidity in terms of being able to keep the lights on. They don't have enough money in the bank account, so they could struggle because of that and go bankrupt. So potential bankruptcy conversations. Stock plummeted off the news catalyst, potentially giving us some sort of a short setup tomorrow to keep an eye on, going back into $1 or below $1. So watch this one. Next one is WDC, Western Digital. So this one also a news catalyst. The catalyst was actually, I'm gonna throw in on the anchor from that news itself. I guess today's VWAP kind of makes sense, makes up for it. We got rejects into these pops into $67, almost 66.50 to 67 area. So WDC, watching our pre-market level setup first, but ideally as long as the stock stays below 67 tomorrow, and if it pops into 67, I think looking for a short on this one will be an opportunity to keep an eye out for. 65 also the bottom today, watching that one on WDC. RGTI, today was kind of day one on the short side on RGTI, which was a stock that I was very keen on watching yesterday for the short side. Sadly, I did not trade it at all. I just sat there and watched the stock sell off in the late day, mainly because off the open it had a big run up, so I did not think that today was day one short, so I stopped looking at it. But the stock basically double topped into yesterday's high and set up for a beautiful short, so I'm pretty sad on that one. You can see how today's low is also yesterday's low. Today's VWAP is yesterday's VWAP. So multi-level confluence on an inside day range over here coming into play that could give you setups on either side. If today's low, which was yesterday's low, holds tomorrow, they could give you a long back into today's VWAP, which was yesterday's VWAP. If today's VWAP rejects, that could give you a short back down over here, and the stock could range in this area before it either breaks down or it either reverses and breaks higher. Now, on the other side of the coin, on the higher end of the coin, it could do the same thing, but between yesterday's high, so that's today's high, and between today's VWAP, it could do the same thing in this area where it could give you a long or a short, however you're looking to trade it, and then kind of go back into today's low or kind of break out of today's high. So opportunities, just watching how the stock sets up in this whole inside day range, and not really exactly what IonQ is doing, but IonQ is doing the same thing. IonQ is kind of doing the same thing. It's not did it go into yesterday's high? Okay, it did. I thought not really into yesterday's high because I thought it just went into this little consolidation high, but very similar to what IonQ is doing also, which is actually kind of the ringleader of these stocks. So if you might want to keep an eye on IonQ also, especially if IonQ can get below 28. That one will be a no-brainer. Slam the shorts on this stock because the brakes might start being pumped on this name now. Finally, the brakes might be starting to get pumped on IonQ as quantum computing has been getting hyped quite a bit, getting hyped too much. So $28 on IonQ to the downside, watching how that one plays out. RGTI, today's VWAP 7. That's my infliction area. RGTI, what was the high end of today's is $8, so 7, 8, 9. So basically simple areas over there to keep an eye on. Sorry, no, today's low 6, 7, 8. There we go, that's what it is. 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. So watching clean levels over there on RGTI. Looking mainly for a pop into 7 and reject to look short, and then add on move below 6 only if IonQ is below 28. Looking for short below 28 or a long from 28. WDC, what was my plan again? Oh yeah, pop if stock can stay below 67, looking short on pops. Don't really have a plan written out for ADB, but I have some levels written out, and same thing for RH. That's because I kind of said that I might have to wait for pre-market levels to form a little bit and then do something off of that. So yeah, that's basically all the levels we want to talk about. The IPO today, T10. Was at one point indicated to open up at $200, which is insane. Very low volume today, however. I would like some volume to pick up on this name. If it pops back into 100, maybe I will look for a short, but if not, I don't really care about what the stock tomorrow does. So if it pops back into 100, I might look for a short. After hour low is $95, so basically I'm going to give it a $5 respect to see what it does. It basically had a $5 range today, 100 to 105. After hour range is 100 to 95, so I will give it a $100 range to see what the stock does. If it pops into 100 and rejects into 100, I might be very interested to look for a short, but if not, I don't really care what the stock does tomorrow at all. Let's go take a look at do we need any of stocks from here? No, I already have too many names on my watch list. I don't care about any more names. Let's go take a look at the econ calendar and see what might move the market tomorrow. And looks like nothing might move the market tomorrow except for itself, except for some buyers and sellers and AVGO and Nvidia and all the other fun stuff. So expect the market to go up for the most part because of AVGO and Nvidia. I already mentioned that like a million times, but if some of these numbers help that to the high side, even better. But overall, these shouldn't really do too much, but keep an eye on at 8:30. After 8:30, nothing really to focus on the econ calendar side. Today and yesterday were the two main events. What was it? Interest rate decisions coming up very, very soon. IPOs. Ooh, we got some. These are all acquisition corps. Boring. This one already IPO'd today. That's a small IPO. But some tech company, small IPO, but some tech company. We'll see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that basically was the stream, final stream of this year. Now, will I be back next year? I hope so. I think you know, I'm kind of thinking about coming back next year. Doing both, doing live stream and oh, hit the wrong button, sorry. Doing live stream and doing offline videos, doing both. We'll see. I haven't made up my mind yet. I need to run through the topics or the pros and cons. You know, obviously takes a lot of time from me to explain to you guys exactly what I want to do, which is a lot of time that I could be spending reviewing stocks, reviewing the best trades of the day, which is I do that already. I spend, you know, the next hour and a half going into 12 o'clock, 12:30, reviewing 10 to like 13 charts, the best trades of the day in my opinion that I could take advantage of, and that takes a lot of time too. So this stream takes quite a bit off of me, but hopefully you know, if the pros are outweighing the cons over my 2-week Christmas / New Year break, then you will see me once again on YouTube live stream. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys up to date, obviously, on Discord. I'll keep you guys up to date. Discord stream with interaction. What is that? What is that? Have a good night, Brad. Thanks. No problem, Ryan. Thank you for coming, brother. Thank you for coming. Momo, I still want to hear the full story with Trader TV Live and why Sean is not as good as he seems. The topic doesn't matter anymore. The past is the past. Guri, what's up, brother? No, good to see you in here, Guri. Guri, you need to tell some of the other people in the Discord to come watch me, because that would motivate me to keep streaming. That would motivate me to keep streaming. Crappy Christmas to all. Yes, Merry Christmas to everyone who obviously enjoys Christmas, and this is the final stream of this week. This week of this year. I'm gonna take a good 2-week break going into the next 2 weeks, into Christmas, into the holidays. I'm not really taking a break. I'm gonna still be trading, but I'm just gonna take a nice little pause from YouTube a little bit. I've been doing this non-stop every single day, except for some important days like off or whatever. You know, have to go to hospital or have to go do something else, or you know, something important. That's the only times that I kind of took days off. So I would like to take a nice 2-week vacation, and then after 2-week vacation, I'll let you know if it's a permanent vacation or if it's just just a little hiatus, and then I'm back. Maybe that's all I really need. Maybe I just need a little vacation. I'm tired, okay? I just need a little vacation. And then once I take that vacation, I come back and we have fun. We have fun again, right? We make streaming fun again. We enjoy doing it. And I can't wait to see what happens. So ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend. Have a banger holidays if you're going on holidays. Enjoy your trips if you're going on trips. If you are, you know, I gotta set up a Christmas tree in my house. Actually, I thought my sister-in-law brought the Christmas tree. If she did, I need to be setting up the Christmas tree. So if you're setting up Christmas trees, don't get hurt. Don't burn your house down with Christmas tree fires and so on, obviously. So have a great time. Enjoy your time with your families and your loved ones. These are the final days of 2024 and 2025, with Trump back in the seat, in the power seat. I think the market's going to be absolutely filthy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be filthy. It's going to be opportunities everywhere. So I'm very excited for 2025. Hopefully you are. I wish you guys, from my family to yours, a very happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. TraderPrad loves you guys. Peace. TraderPrad, another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. It might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow, as you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time,
TraderPrad out. Adios.